officials and protection for the 9 defendants. Anderson also sought a site visit to the former Guyana Elections Commission GCOM Command Center, arguing these measures were essential for a fair trial. Magistrate Daly then ruled that any decision regarding an on-site visit would depend on the evidence provided throughout the trial, and that the original SOPs would only be presented when deemed suitable. It was then time for the first witness, Minister for Local Government and Regional Development, Sonia Parag, to enter the witness box. Parag was a candidate for the People's Progressive Party Civic (PPPC) in the 2020 elections. In her testimony, Parag provided evidence of what she observed on March 2, 2020. Throughout her testimony, the defense raised a number of concerns regarding what should and should not be accepted as evidence. Attorney at law Ronald Daniels, in an interview outside the courtroom, said in the latter portion of Parag's testimony, she was given evidence that was not disclosed to the defense.
So we took the objection that the evidence that she was given, we did not have the benefit of that to obtain instructions from our client. Our learned senior on the prosecution side took the view that the witness should be permitted to.
The trial faced numerous delays over the last 3 years, but was clear to begin following a ruling by the acting Chief Justice Roxanne George. Justice George ruled that the constitutional rights of former Chief Election Officer Keith Lowenfield and his deputy Roxanne Myers to a fair trial would not be violated by the Representation of the People Act, which prohibits disclosure of the Guyana Elections Commission GCOM's meeting. Following an investigation into the March 2020 general and regional elections and subsequent events, criminal charges were brought against former GCOM officials and others for their alleged involvement in attempting to allegedly rig the elections. They collectively face over 20 electoral fraud-related charges in court. Those on trial are former District 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo, former Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers, former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, Fowler Lawrence, Carol Smith Joseph. Other GCOM staff facing charges include Sheffrin Fabry, Enrique Liven, Dennis Bob Cummins, and Mitchell Miller. Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, the prosecution has accused the defense of employing delayed tactics to obstruct the 2020 elections fraud trial, which is currently underway at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The defense insists that it will continue to raise objections as needed. Here again is Tiana Cole.
If there are legal issues, we will object every time, like what transpired this morning. But the prosecutors, they are ministers of justice and they must be fair. If they are going to bring things that are unfair to our clients, we have a duty, bound in the interest of the justice to raise every issue.
That's attorney at law Darren Wade, who made it pellucid that the defense will not sit back and allow unlawful evidence that could harm the client's case be entered into evidence. Attorney at law Ronald Daniels, who expressed similar sentiments as his colleague Wade, stated that they have a duty to uphold law as ministers of justice and that they will vigorously and fearlessly defend their clients. He emphasized that they are obligated to raise an objection if the situation calls for it.
The defense has no interest or no motivation to protract these proceedings.
On Monday, the much anticipated trial over the alleged electoral irregularities during the 2020 general elections commenced after numerous delays. Very early into the trial, King's Counsel Darshan Ramdani, the lead prosecutor, accused the defense of using delayed tactics to stall the proceedings. Following an investigation into the March 2020 general and regional elections and subsequent events, criminal charges were brought against former GCOM officials and others for their alleged involvement in attempting to allegedly rig the elections. They collectively face over 20 electoral fraud-related charges in court. The trial continues on Tuesday, with Minister of Local Government Sonia Parag continuing her testimony. Tiana Co reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
9 Caribbean countries, including Guyana, will be part of CARICOM's Regional Economic Agri-Insurance Program, REAP. REAP seeks to emphasize resilience in agriculture amidst climate challenges. Find out more details from Carice Gonzalez.
The Caribbean Community CARICOM recently introduced its private sector-driven regional economic agri-insurance program